And even though some of those puppies were able to go back home to Pawleys Island, a lot of these puppies still don't have a home here in Columbia. Fire officials believe that the fire actually started here in the stairway, and as you can see all around me, the wood is completely black and destroyed. One of the biggest advantages of flying from a smaller airport is the shorter lines at the security checkpoint. But just because it's a smaller airport doesn't mean that the security is any different. This season marks Lindsay's first full year playing for the Gamecocks without an injury, and her parents make sure they never miss a game, even if it means driving 8.5 hours from Maryland, just to make sure the tailgate has started. Now, after 1.5 years of constant campaigning, all Clinton and Trump can do is wait, sit, and reflect on their campaigns. And you can be assured that these voters will also reflect on everything that these campaigns brought to light. This is Jackie Majorga, and she's a dreamer. But her American dream may be turning into a nightmare after this election, simply because she's not an American.
We actually came the undocumented way, entered without inspection. So what we did is literally cross the border.
But coming to this country illegally brought some unforeseen consequences.
We didn't understand what that actually meant, like being undocumented, not having papers. Like what is that? And it wasn't until high school, I think, that I really actually felt what it was to be undocumented. I couldn't get a driver's license. I wanted to get a job, and I couldn't do that.
Looking back at old pictures, she's thankful to have been the first person in South Carolina to be a part of the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, also known as DACA. This program was created in 2012 by President Barack Obama and gives people like Jackie a temporary legal status for 2 years. I'm here at Columbia College where Jackie got her degree, but other DACA students might not get that same opportunity. 26 states, including South Carolina, have challenged the president's executive order, saying it's not constitutional. Right now, the program is held up in litigation in the Supreme Court until a new Supreme Court justice is placed. But ultimately, it's up to the new president to decide whether to keep or cut the program.
This is allowing people to develop their potentials. So, if a new president comes and takes away of all of that and is not pro-immigration reform, it is going to be a big issue for many, many Latinos in this country.
Even though this community of immigrants isn't able to vote, they still want citizens to use the rights that they wish they had. But until Election Day, Jackie has to sit back and wait for her future to be determined by other voters. Her future either includes Physician's Assistant School or deportation. Laura Ararat, Carolina News. This weekend, the pet sink in the Midlands hit full capacity after taking in 70 displaced pets.
We had to evacuate. There was a Hurricane Matthew coming.
The All for Paws Animal Rescue Shelter on Pawleys Island knew they had to take action quickly to save the lives of their animals.
We started panicking about getting out of town, and our evacuation plan, we had the cargo vans rented, and we were ready to go, and they said, we will open our doors to you, and they were so welcoming and so, great while we were here.
But getting 70 animals from the coast to the Midlands couldn't be done without the help of volunteers, like Lewis Emmett, who drove over 3 hours in a van to get the animals to safety.
As long as there's dogs to be transported, I'll be transporting.
PetSinc filled up every empty crate, making room for as many dogs as they could. And they decided to keep 14 of the displaced dogs here in the Midlands to allow All for Paws to make room for other animals. After being here for 4 days, today they're making the drive back to Pawleys Island. And even though some of those puppies were able to go back home to Pawleys Island, a lot of these puppies still don't have a home here in Columbia. PetSinc is a no-kill shelter, which means they will foster animals no matter how old they get.
We've had animals here as many as 400, 500 days at a time that we eventually find them homes.
And until every dog has a home, volunteers will always be ready to help.
I figure when I go to heaven, I'm going to the kennels, so.
And shelters will always be ready to lend a helping hand. Laura Ararat, Carolina News.
A junior from Lusby, Maryland, number 73, Lindsay Lane.
Lindsay Lane graduated high school a semester early to come play for the Gamecocks. But that spring, the unexpected happened when she tore her ACL during a game.
Well, I was so young too, so I was just like, I never thought this would happen to me.
She recovered and came back to play the following year, but during a pickup game, she tore her other ACL.
It's really tough, like mentally, physically, it's really tough not knowing if you're ever going to be able to do what you love again, and feeling like something you love has just been like taken away from you just within a second, you know, and you never expected it.
But these two injuries didn't stop Lindsay from working hard to become the best player she could be. She had the support from her team, coaches, and her parents.
But this year, that's the first time she's had a chance to train healthy for a spring and a fall, and you see the difference. She's really done a good job, and her possession is outstanding. Her work rate is that much greater than she ever had.
This season marks Lindsay's first full year playing for the Gamecocks without an injury, and her parents make sure they never miss a game, even if it means driving 8.5 hours from Maryland, just to make sure the tailgate has started. For Dave and Trish Lane, being at every game means more to them than just being good fans.
Very important, and we had gone to every game in the spring, and the very last game we didn't go to, and she tore her ACL. So since then, I've been very superstitious, and I haven't missed a game.
Not only are they Lindsay's good luck charms, they are also the life of the tailgate.
We do that every home game. We've been doing it ever since Lindsay's first year here.
The parents are the girls' biggest fans, and they make sure that they feel their love and support before every game. That pregame ritual has paid off. The Gamecocks finished their regular season undefeated and won the title as the SEC champs. The road for Lindsay Lane hasn't been easy,
but it's worth it because I wouldn't want to be anywhere else than play on the field every Thursday, Sunday with these girls.
And no matter where the Gamecocks go from here, you can be sure to find Lindsay Lane playing her heart out on the soccer field and her parents cheering her on. Laura Ararat, Carolina News.
My neighbor calls and says, "Get your clothes on and come over here, Building 6 is on fire."
Multiple units were damaged as a result of the fire yesterday. Everyone affected was able to evacuate safely with no injuries, but getting out of the building wasn't exactly easy for many of the families.
The girl and her son who live in this top unit had actually come out through the window because it looks like the fire started in the stairwell and they couldn't go out their front door.
24 hours later, the scene of the fire looks a lot different. The 6 families who are now displaced have started making arrangements to get their personal belongings, as well as making the necessary actions to start rebuilding. Fire officials believe that the fire actually started here in the stairway, and as you can see all around me, the wood is completely black and destroyed. But this condominium is privately owned, which means the homeowners association will only take care of this stairwell and the outside of the building, but whatever's inside each unit is completely up to whoever owns it. But now the question still remains, when will they be able to move back home?
But there are a lot of variables that are included in that question, whether there's asbestos present in any of the building materials, how quickly insurance companies can verify coverage and issue payments.
But Clint says families should be able to move back in 90 to 120 days. It's Saturday at Williams-Brice, and over 78,000 fans filled up the stadium to watch the Gamecocks play against the Texas A&M Aggies. Although the Gamecocks lost the game, they still had a reason to be cocky. For the 4th year in a row, the Gamecocks and Curing Kids Cancer have teamed up to raise awareness on childhood cancer. The program was founded in 2005 by the Owens family.
And we had twins in the middle, and one of them was diagnosed with leukemia when he was 5 years old, and we lost him when he was 9. And there was a medicine that might have actually cured him, but they didn't have enough money to get it into treatment. And after we lost him, I decided I couldn't stand the thought of that happening to other families when I knew there was probably something I could do to help.
Their late son, Killian, was a big sports fan, so it was no surprise that they wanted to partner up with sports teams to raise awareness.
College football fans are so passionate about their teams, but they're also passionate about what we do when they find out about it.
Together, they created a House United to Tackle Pediatric Cancer campaign. This will help bring together even more football programs across the United States. During the game, coaches wore lanyards with gold whistles, while players were sporting helmet stickers. And while the Gamecocks may have a losing season, the team and fans can still be cocky, knowing that they are making a difference in the lives of millions of kids tackling cancer. Laura Ararat, Carolina News.